Dodd and Ali from Studio Express 625. This is all about your life. So we're going to start off first and ask you guys, first and foremost, is what was your upbringing like?
You want to go first?
Start with you, Doddy.
Well, I don't know what upbringing. Went to school in Brent. Primary school was Leopold. Secondary school was Slaybrook. I did get GCs. I did get GCs. Or it was, no, CSEs at the time. Started work. Me and work couldn't get on for whatever reason. So I started my own business on then, and then I started to wheel and deal, and then it brings me to the story comes up to today. So really.
Okay, well, when you say that work didn't really work for you, explain a little bit about it.
I think when I was young, I was a bit more fireish, had a bit of a temper, so taking instructions I found a bit difficult.
You like to be your own boss?
Not even so much my own boss, I just didn't respect the way how the supervisor at the time was speaking to me. Because I used to do maintenance work. So we used to come in the mornings, you look at your work rota, and I noticed, hold on a minute, how come I'm getting all outdoor jobs? And this is in the winter. Mm-hmm. I've got people's come before me, like they got decent, but people's come after me, he's getting better jobs than I'm getting. So one day I said to the geezer, like, I'm not being funny, this is going on for about 4 months now, and it's cold out here. I've had an inside job since blah blah, and basically he's fobbed me off. Then a new geezer started where I had to train, and then like I looked at the road one morning, I thought, no, this is wrong, this is mad. He didn't even know how to do them jobs, and he's got an inside job, I got an outside job. So I went to the supervisor and said, "Oh, is this personal?" And his reply was, "Just shut up and do the work."
Wow.
And I think that was the end of my working career.
May I ask, were you the only black person there?
No, I wasn't actually. I was, there's two of us. One was, he was just a normal black geezer. Wasn't really, it's just cool. But
no favouritism or nothing?
Nah, there wasn't. I just think he just had it out for me, and then like, I just couldn't take no more, and like, that was the end of that work there.
Wow.
He probably remembered you from school.
I think he could have been a year younger than me.
You sure he wasn't the one you bullied?
Yeah, that's right.
I wasn't really a bully. But you know what? Believe it or not, as much as mischief I used to get up to, I was in school every day from 8:30 to 3:30.
So you're a good pupil?
Yeah, I didn't bunk school once. They said what I did after school was a problem.
Oh wow. Yeah. Okay, and then Ali, how about you?
Yeah, well, I grew up in northwest London. Basically, went to school. Primary school was Bridge Road Primary School. It was actually, funny enough, was just in front of Slaybrook, secondary school. Right, so yeah, I went to Bridge Road Primary School. After that, left there, went to Elstone High School, which is now called Queen's Park. Queen's Park Academy. Three characters went there actually. Big G. We used to go to Elstone.
From Nasty Boys, right?
Yeah, for Nasty Boys. I think Chris Sweeney went there as well.
Okay.
Yeah, and quite a few other people went there. Left there, went to college, studied one or two things, and ended up in work, and went out to work.
What profession were you doing?
When I was in college, I was actually studying electrical engineering.
Okay.
Yeah, but I didn't do anything to do with that. No.
Off the beach. Yeah. You didn't really like that?
No, I did, but I just didn't focus myself on it. You get distracted and end up doing other things. You know what I mean? So that just leads me into my career path now. So at the moment, I work for the NHS.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And also along the way, you guys from school, you didn't know each other from school?
We always had mutual, like there's a few people that Dodd went to school with that I actually grew up with, like from my estate.
Right.
Yeah, so
If we didn't know one another, like to say we could sit there and keep a 10-minute conversation, we knew.
Yeah, because he grew up in Stonebridge, I grew up in Church Road. If anybody knows the demographics of those two areas, they're literally walking distance. Right. They, even though now they probably don't get on the two areas, but in our day, those two areas.
It never happened then, did it?
No.
Right. What do you think's changed now on that? Because that's really a young people's thing. Why do you think the adults are the same now? Do you think they're the same now, or is it just the youngsters still?
The adults are the same. I think the kids now have taken a different stance to like areas and all the rest of it, and it's just different. It's a different world.
Yeah, I don't even know when it did change.
I can't tell you when it changed, right? But it's changed. and it's changed for
It did change. Definitely.
So coming out of doing business for yourself and that, you actually have got a big business at the moment because you know you've got to say it. You're celebrity DJs and DJs came into it. But let's go real with the game. It must have started from somewhere. I know. Tell us a bit about your upbringing within the music. What got you into the music field? Why the music? I'll go with you first, Ali.
Well, when I was younger, my sister used to collect music, and I just kind of used to nick her records sometimes, and you know,
So
and
you know where your old records are.
yeah. Then I sort of like started collecting myself, like from a young age. Started collecting music and went a few couple of sounds, and then
Can you name some of the sounds?
what that started off as.
So you used to follow.
No. I was in a couple of sounds when I first started getting into music.
Okay.
I can't remember the names of the sounds, to be honest. Yeah, I do remember a couple of characters in the sound. A guy called Augustus. He went to slave work actually. Yeah. Lester. Yeah, there's a few other people that was in the sound at the time, and then you go your separate ways, you do your different things, and then a couple of friends of mine were having a birthday party, having a 21st, and they was having it in Church Road, which was my local area, and I knew them, so they said to me, "Oh, come along and just kind of play some music for the night, along with other people in the sound." At that time, I wasn't in the sound. I just came along as a guest, and the sound that was playing was actually Studio Express.
Okay.
Right. So from there, it kind of made an impression on the night. So they asked me to kind of join the sound after that. Plus, one of the guys who actually managed the sound, he was my best mate anyway. So that kind of helped anyway.
Right.
So yeah. So Jeff was in the sound. A guy called Jeff. He was the manager of the sound. He was a mic man of the sound at the time, and eventually became the manager of the sound. So he asked me to come and see if I wanted to come and play music with the sound. Him, with a few other people, and so that was the journey from there. Just doing Studio Express from there.
Well, Studio Express obviously is a well-known name, and some people, bias or whatever, never recognised that Studio Express 625 had a manager or another part of the team. So that's good to sort of.
Yeah, no. When I first joined the sound, Todd wasn't in the sound then, but there was at least 6 members already in the sound.
Right.
A guy called Super Ted, Blake, Jeff. That was Liver and PK. So they were already in the sound before I enjoyed the sound. And then a friend of mine called Scott Tracy, we used to collect music together, and we played on that party the same night as well, alongside a gentleman by the name of Eddie Murphy, who's actually a white guy. And so when I first joined the sound, I think there was at least 8 of us in the sound. So yeah, it didn't just start with like Dodd and Ali. Nah.
Okay.
Nah.
So Doddy, how did you start like with the music thing? Because obviously coming out of work and that, obviously Studio Express is born on that side now. But how did it start from you before you linked up with Studio Express 65?
Well, my journey started like I used to be a dancehall DJ.
Okay.
Get about this soul sweet image. I was like dancing because I used to follow sounds like Saxon, Unity, Volcano. That was my thing. I was a reggae man, so I didn't understand soul and hip hop. It wasn't my thing. So I joined a couple of sounds, some young sounds. Me and a couple of geezers, Kenrick, a geezer called Trevor. I can't even remember their nicknames now. That's how I remember. So we had a little sound. We spent little parties and that, and then we all joined up with a gentleman that used to fix amplifiers and mixers and all.
And he used to fix them for Studio Express.
So right. Someone knew somebody. So he said to me, boy.
So it was a close community.
Yeah. So he said, do you want to do this? And I said, well, yeah, I'll come in. So we used to DJ at his house every Friday, bass down the place. And I had a geezer called Froggy who had a sound on the opposite block. So we used to clash. So that block used to clash with that block. So it started from there, and then like that developed, and then one day, Jeff, once again, who's the manager, so I knew Jeff differently anyway. He said to me, "Boy, I'm in a bit of a problem. I need an MC for the night." I said, "Okay," but I said, "Okay, yeah, cool," but I was naughty, as in I had other things going on. Friday and Saturdays was my earning nights.
Yeah.
I was on the road.
People are not silly. He's a road man.
I'm on the road, so I don't know about no playing no side. So my attitude was this: if I went out and I made money, oh God, I'm at the dance. If I don't make money, I'm going home. But Jeff said to me, "Look, we need you for this dance and blah blah." I said, "All right, cool." And he paused and said, "Only one stipulation though." I said, "What's that?" "You have to wear trousers and shoes." I said, "Jeff, I can't do that. I don't even own a pair of shoes." He goes, "Oh, you have to do this." Anyway, went and got shoes, went and got trousers. Nightmare. When I tried it in the shop, perfect. When I started to walk in the shoes, it was a disaster. So we're going to King on the Rye. I've never been in these places before.
Yeah. Peckham.
Over Peckham.
Yeah.
It was Big G's birthday. Brought us in as a young sound. Remember, I'm not in the sound, I'm just filling in.
Yeah.
So I've gone in here, you got latest edition, Tasha Class. But you got this geezer on the mic saying, "Yeah, sounds of the Barry White." I'm thinking, "Jeff, you want me to sound like him?" Because I ain't got a clue. So anyway, our time to play, this hurricane came in. "Yo, big up this man." Jeff said, no. Tone it down a little bit.
Just slightly.
So he trained you.
Kind of not trained me because I could do it.
Yeah.
But the only difference is I'm loud.
You're more on the rough end.
Yeah, so this is like a smoothie crowd. Like,
Yeah.
And Barry was like giving the smooth talk, like, "Yeah, the sounds of the Barrington White." I've gone to the mic and say, "Yo, big up Ali. Yo, big up Jeff. Boy, yeah. These people, listen, where does Thunderbird come from?" Anyway, that was that. Jeff told me to tone it down. And what happened is, I think Ali was selected and he played a record instrumental. So I feel like, okay, I know what I can do. I can put some lyrics in between that part there. So I've got it. But we had a thing called, I think it was Big Things 101. Studio expression over just land. Big Things 102. And it fit the rhythm perfect. So we got away with that. Then the following week, Jeff said, "Boy, we're going to need you again." Now, problem, because you're tampering with my earnings time. So I'm saying to Jeff, "You got to pay me." But it was a bit of a situation which I understood, because I was the only one getting paid.
Yeah. So basically, you know, like when you're in a sound,
Yeah.
you know,
Goes in the kitty.
everything goes in the kitty, innit? You know, for what? I don't know. But
It's basically a free.
yeah. When you're young, everything goes in the kitty, innit? Like you got equipment to buy.
Yeah.
At that time, we had a sound system. We had, you know, like we had speakers, amps, and every week,
They'll blow on that. Yeah.
every week something's going.
Yeah.
So you ain't see no money.
So I've come in now.
So Dod's getting paid. So like,
It's caused
Everyone's upset.
you know,
upset, but
like,
it's cool.
no, you're saying, boy, you know what? You might as well just join the sound,
the sound.
yeah, and get no money.
So now I've got to make a decision now. So they've called a big meeting. Everybody's there. And just come out with, "You know what? I understand that, but you either you join the sound and don't get the money, or you have to terminate the contract."
Wow.
But at that time, Street Express was growing.
Yeah, you can see the potential.
So they kept a dance at, in Wembley, Harrodine Road. It was
Jam.
5 bedrooms outside. The rave was outside. It
Yeah.
was just mad.
Turns of blues.
It was
Yeah, it was a blues dance, but it was a blues dance
on a different
on a different level. Like when you're saying that, you know, you got a 5-bedroom house, yeah, and then you got as much people outside as inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that one there, Harrodine Road, Wembley,
Really mad.
that kind of put us for Northwest London.
Put it on the map.
Yeah, because at that time there was from Northwest there was
Saturday.
2 sounds that it was Syndicate Sound, Syndicate Sound, and Studio, Impact and Studio Express. Those were the 3
top area sounds at the time.
top kind of street sounds at that level. You know what I mean? So that sort of kind of put us in our own bracket, sort of, when we first started kind of out and playing our music at that level.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So
Right.
remember, I've gone in there and I've got this lyrical attitude now, and it's fitting the rhythm right. So it's like a complete package now. Studio Express is on fire. They got a mic man that can hold it. So now we've been booked by some big promoters now. Man, like Plastic, respect due, because those guys, I have to give one love. Those are the guys.
Yeah, Steve, One Love. Yeah, them man they put us like in certain. They put us in certain dances that we kind of saw them dances as big dances. You know what I mean? So Yeah, Plastic, Steve,
I'd say Stretch,
Lecky, Richie Rich.
Chris Sweeney. Yeah.
Them guys saw things in us that we, you know what I mean? They saw the development and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
It really just started from there.
But inside yourself, did you find it hard?
And also, sorry, one person I have to mention, because I saw a gentleman last week and he was saying, Ali, do you remember that dance I booked you lot for? And I was like, wow, look, you know what it was? Mark Braithwaite. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But did you find yourself that you had to keep up in the sense of when you, Ali, for instance, when you're DJing, say your DJ skills, obviously, you know this game, you play one wrong record, the whole floor will empty.
Yeah. No, that's happened to me a couple of times. In fact, when we first started playing out and the sound used to break down, right, in the day, a nickname for our sound, Studio Distress. Because when we used to play out, the sound was guaranteed to rock down. Yeah.
Sometimes
so you know
you're soldering the wireless.
You're soldering. So you know when you're playing music and the sound rock down, what's the thing that people do? And they don't, and the music doesn't come back on straight away. They start booing.
They start booing you, innit?
Yeah. So you have to be like big show. Yeah. Right.
Even once went over south, courtesy of Delaware P. Now the sound was so big at that stage, we could play in two places. And this is how the kind of Doddy Ali thing developed. It was just coincidence. Like they said, right, you go with Ali and the other Mike will go with whoever. So they've gone over to south. But we're playing that dance, we'll finish early. So we said, you know what? Come, we go over south. When we walked through the door, Student was getting booed. Wow. Because it was predominantly south. So I looked at Ali was with me, we jumped on, but I was faced it.
So it was scary. What's scary time?
No. It wasn't. I wouldn't say scary. No. It wasn't. It wasn't say scary.
Me going in there, I was telling people, shut up about your boy. Big sound there now, and boom, 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 and we got back to dance. We won back to dance.
Right.
People saying, wow, because them time we was cutting up from then. Because we had a special by Irene. It was tearing out.
Yeah. Remember 24/7 Love?
24/7 Love.
And how did you get about going? I mean, obviously talking about dub plates and that, yeah, back in the day they were the big thing. How did you manage to get to the artist to go and do it? Was it just a phone call, or was it just someone who knew somebody?
We knew her manager.
Yeah. Right.
So we just made a link from there, then we linked Omar, then Sean Paul was coming over and we linked Sean Paul. So we were cutting dub from like, I'm not bragging on both, we was cutting dub.
We were long time, yeah.
It's not even a bragging tip, it's just real.
You're just being real.
Because we done a dub by Sean Paul on
Give Me the Light.
Yeah, Give Me the Light on the thing with him.
We put it on it.
It's Getting Hot in It.
Yeah, we put it on
It's Getting Hot in It.
Yeah.
We put Sean Paul in that. I played at Lighthouse. And when that touched the speakers, the forward that we was getting, the record got played about 4 or 5 times. But it's like anything. You just continue, and then you just see the growth of the sound just going on.
But then again, you, Doddy, you must have lost a lot of money as well, because the street life was obviously doing well for you to take time out to come and play a couple of records for change.
Well, I'll tell you the truth, it wasn't even so much that. The street life was adaptable now, because now it wasn't like before. We had pages, we had phones.
I remember the page.
I'm not being funny, it made no difference. If anything, come Saturday 6 o'clock, that's me done.
Right.
So it was all convenient, just fit in. Right.
So Studio Express 625 is now grown. It's grown. And we're getting up to sort of the days of, I remember you guys from Unique FM, which obviously I was a part of that as well.
Okay.
And we're talking about now your radio career, because you just wasn't on Ali. You weren't just on Unique. You were on FM as well.
No. We when it came to radio, we started on. Well, I started on radio like years ago, and then we went on to we got called on to Ira FM.
Yeah.
And we had a show on a Sunday, and it was quite a popular show on a Sunday, and we was on there for a good while. Yeah, and we just, I think that one time we was on there, I can't remember Fergie. That's it. Fergie owned the building to the station.
It was run by Big G,
right,
and Lloyd.
And
Fergie had a piece of it.
No, it was Big G, Lloyd the Wizard, and Frank. Yeah, three quite well-known characters in the community. And one day we were doing a show on Sunday, and Fergie, if you've ever been, well, people that know Fergie know his character. Yeah, he came and he goes, guys,
Love you lot show.
I love your show, lovely show, but you got to come off now.
And we say like,
What are we talking about?
It's advisable to come out.
Just come out.
Just come out. And he just took his hammer out.
He got a hammer.
Wow.
He got a hammer.
Smash with the
And
studio.
started smashing up the studio. Live. We're talking about live. And,
Was it his studio?
it was his building.
Building. So I don't know.
So I don't know. There was a little altercation.
A little situation.
Yeah.
You could hear this live.
We're talking about a live radio.
Show. You just heard. You can hear it come off now because the mics ain't turned off.
Yeah.
And he's splashed up the studio. So that was one incident. Then that IRFM dance, which was one of the in Eden time.
Yeah, that was Mr. and Mrs. IRFM. Yeah.
Massive.
That was massive. That's how big IRFM was.
It was.
And then after that, we went on to Skyline. Yeah, which was
Fatty and
the Johnson family from
Bush.
Sheffield Bush. Who yeah.
definitely made a mark there because that really sent us into a different dimension because like that was Bush acting.
Yeah.
So the name was like moving from northwest now to west, Labrador Grove. So a lot of things happening. And then,
We actually interviewed Usher in
Usher,
there.
Yeah,
Usher came to the studio to do an interview.
yeah. And we actually interviewed.
And we just interviewed him, and there's a couple other artists as well. Just came to the studio, and we've done interviews with them.
Like we done Destiny's Child when there was children.
Yeah, we done Destiny's Child when they were like really young.
And
you know.
it's so bad. I looked at Beyonce and said, "Yeah, what you saying?" I was saying, "She's not for you. You're here to do an interview." So that's how far we're going back.
With radio. But Dodge, you've come out of radio now. You're not doing it. Why have you decided
You know
to
what?
step
I tell
down?
you why I came out the radio at the time when we had when we was on IRFM
No, we was on after that was Skyline.
Skyline.
Yeah.
But when we was on IRFM, it was like Don and Ali show. But I was the main talker.
Right.
Ali was more concerned in music. As time developed, DJ thing changed. Like it was more DJ playing music, DJ talking. Went to Sky, and then I realised my musical knowledge is not vast. So it kind of still caused kind of problems. I'm like, Ali put in a record. I'm hearing. I don't know what the hell. So every minute I'm looking at it, what's that? So it just made sense that you know what, I don't know the music.
Right.
I'm just taking up space.
Yeah.
And you know what? With our team, do what you do best.
Yeah. Stay in your lane.
I can present.
But did we come on Unique together?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. For a while.
I just realised from there, you know what? Ali, do your thing. Because where I look at it, Ali's growth now is gone to a different level.
Yes.
So he's got his phone show program. So we don't need to talk about shows.
Yeah,
You know what? I ain't got time to come back here,
Yeah.
You do your show. But
Do you miss it though?
no. Radio, I have no interest.
Wow. Did you hear that, everybody?
I've no interest. I've done a couple of shows under a title called Blood Beat. That's the reggae side of it. I was just, this is the reggae side of Studio Express. But even then, my musical knowledge ain't that vast.
Right.
And I'm not the person to be concentrating on music. So
Yeah, but you're not the only one like that. There's a lot of people. Like there's one particular DJ. I'm not saying no names. It's not my place to say it. But they said I've just got big, and then when he plays it, it smashes up the place because it's a big tune.
Yeah, but you really about the music then?
Yeah.
At least Ali can put on a.
So that's why I think the music industry's kind of changed.
Well, we were going to get into that because talking
I
about
think it's kinda
the
changed.
music industry changing, we're talking now about street sound, street cred, on how you guys all work together. I mean, I notice we all go out and we all say hello, and all that sort of stuff. But are we acquaintances or are we friends? So you need to understand is, how do you feel the music business is right now? I'll start with you, Ali.
What in regards to the association with DJs and street sound?
Street sound.
I think it's all good now. I think it used to be worse before, back in the day.
Right.
Because I'll explain, because when we were coming into the business, yeah, there's no way we could just jump and say we're going to play with Touch of Class,
Never.
Special Edition, Latest Edition,
Right.
Mystery. Yeah, we had to do our proper groundwork. Yeah, that's why we got called by the likes of One Love, Like that's why we got called by those guys, because they could see that we were grinding, doing our work, and doing holding our own. Yeah, remember we're coming from the days of vinyl, so we had to go out and go and buy our music, be in the shop, stand in the shop for hours, listening to half of it is rubbish, and then and then
listen to the dub vendor. You need a cut there. You need a cut there. You need a cut there. He said you can cut.
Respect to Robert Allen. Because their man would sell you about 100 cuts to one tune, and then you realise you only need 3.
Well, you'd remember when we used to run all around London to go and get one particular tune, one particular dance.
That's right.
To blow the place up.
Right. So it's completely changed now, as in, you know. So I think nowadays it's a lot. I think the harmony amongst the DJs is a lot better than it was back in the day.
Right.
You know, for anybody new coming into it anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a lot of love, because even as an MC, do you think back then, when you got Barry White, toning it,
there's no way you're getting that mic. No way.
It's like Jazzy J, likes like Husky Miller. When you're on a bill with all these guys, you
ain't getting the mic.
You got to be saying something.
You have to be saying
They've
something.
got to look at you and say, yeah, man, am I alright?
Yeah.
And you'll never get, he's back. You just get, am I alright? Am I alright? When they decide, especially Tony Nicks, God rest his soul, and Barry White, when they decide they're doing their duo,
you ain't getting that mic.
You could be playing, you could have been your set. All you're hearing is sounds and toucher. And you got to stand there and wait. I'll give you an example. One day I couldn't take no more. I grabbed the mic and turned my back.
And it went off.
And I started to DJ. And Tony said, his exact words, if your lyrics don't mash up this dance, I'm going to box you. Well, luckily for me, I didn't get boxed. So the lyrics there was on point. And from then he had a respect for us. He had a different respect for us.
Because even if you're playing with sounds like, even because look at One Love, right? One Love used to have Scratulous, Joe 90,
Sweet Yairi,
Kenny Ranks.
That is top league.
That's five MCs, yeah, from one sound. How the heck are you gonna get the mic off them? You have to be good.
You have to be good.
But a lot of people saying, I mean, there's a lot of promoters out there and there's a lot of sounds out there, but a lot of the sounds and the promoters, like sound DJs, they're all promoters. And, you know, there's some big noise at the moment that you're in the category of the thing called the cartel. So could you explain what is the cartel?
No, we've heard that a couple of times, and
well,
we have to
put it straight.
Well, we kind of look. How many dances that do we do for the year? Yeah, we probably do my birthday, Dodd's birthday, and maybe anniversary, and maybe but the maximum for the year we probably do about 5 dances as Studio Express.
Right.
Yeah. How many weekends are there in the year?
How many weekends in the year? 52.
There's 52.
Yeah.
So we're only doing 5 events out of 52 weekends. So how can we dominate? The rest of the weekends are predominantly other promoters calling us, and it just happens that, you know, they might call Fifth Avenue and Special Touch, yeah, and then people assume that it's some sort of cartel going. It's not. It doesn't.
I'll tell you what.
You understand? It doesn't go like that.
I'll tell you, I'm going to crush that argument.
Go on then, Dodd.
We had Cork's Wine Bar for 10 years.
Well, you had Lollipop, didn't
we had Lollipop.
Yeah.
Dodd and Ali, Lollipop, 10 years. And I didn't really change the DJs. I brought in new DJs every time.
To try them out.
CLK. Yeah. DJ Legs. Not DJ Legs from Latest Edition. DJ Legs from Rampage. Mystery Twins. I can name a catalogue of DJs.
Even Psycho. When Psycho left Rampage and went solo, he was residence at Corks.
Yeah.
So I can name a catalogue of DJs off the top of my head that we brought in, but we always had Fifth Avenue Special Touch. Why was it a cartel then?
Yeah, true, but the name has been going around about cartel. Where do you think the cartel came from then?
Well, that was Goody.
I think that's because of Goody. Goody had one event.
He had one event,
and he called it a cartel. And also, when we went to Abu Dhabi last year, to the cartel, and people just kind of ran with it.
So when you hear people talking, oh, those guys are just don't want to bring in nobody and they're monopolising the business, and there's nothing we're doing that any other man can't do.
So would you say that there's people like that a lot of them are jealous of you?
I wouldn't say jealous. I think it's misinterpreted, as the fact that they only see what they want to see.
Right.
They only see Fifth Avenue, Studio Express, and Special Touch. You understand? There's other things. We do a thing called Cocktail Friday.
Right.
Yeah, where it's once a month, and we give the opportunity to a lot of DJs to come on. You understand?
With so much DJs. That's
but that Cocktail Fridays, we've had so many different DJs on there, but nobody ever says
it's a cartel.
It's a cartel.
Right.
You understand?
Once they see Studio Express, Special Touch, Fifth Avenue, they start talking about this cartel thing. And what I'm going to clear up here now is, for example, say, if the three sounds gel and they get on, and the selectors got the same mindset, what's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with that, doing that every so often. You know what I'm saying?
But you guys are all like brothers, though, aren't you? Because have you guys ever fallen out?
As
be straight.
you mean like Fifth Avenue?
I'm talking Fifth Avenue. I'm talking, of course, yourselves, and I'm talking Special Touch.
We've had our differences.
Listen, what was you? Earl's Wine Bar.
All right, but Fifth Avenue on this side, Studio Express is this side, squaring up. So we've had our differences. A lot of people don't realise we played at Acapulco, South meet West. It was bottle throwing.
Wow.
South London people throwing bottles, West London people throwing bottles. So we had our own occasions, but we was young and feisty. So it was a different concept. It was more about Fifth Avenue's the same thing as us over South. We're doing the same thing we did over West.
It was more like a rivalry on that level.
So
you know what I mean?
In the middle, it was an eruption. But what people don't understand, you get over those things. As time goes on, you get older.
How did you get over it? Did you actually sit down and talk about it?
No.
It's flowing in.
Yeah.
It just happens. And then you just know there's mutual respect.
Right.
And remember, the bigger your sound goes, the more people you know. So all of a sudden, I know you might know my cousin from over south.
Yeah.
Or you might know my best friend. So it just comes to a big family unit.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you are a big and you're a well appreciated sound and well respected sound.
Hope so.
No, but you are. I mean, out of, obviously we're going to go into your best sounds, who you rate in a sense, your top 5 or whatever. But what I would like to ask you, going back to having problems within a set, obviously yourselves. Everyone sees you guys like brothers. You don't seem like that you argue, you fight. I've never seen you have a little moan in any of the raves, and I've seen you in plenty. But you guys are like brothers. Do you ever fall out at all?
If it happens,
You don't show it to the public.
Nah. It's like a 5-minute thing, and then.
So you guys have never been to a rave or played at an event, and you're both at the moment. No, Ali or Doddy's peeing me off right now.
Nah. Not so detrimental that it's gonna have to kind of
ruin the business.
Yeah. Nah.
It's like in the business. You're gonna get times where you don't agree, and you might disagree.
It's humans, isn't it?
We remember we've done like nearly 25-30 year journey.
Yeah, that's what I was going to get to. You've been in the game for a very long time.
We have not ever had a moment where we ain't talking with each other. It's never happened. I've never recorded that. I've never had a moment that me and Ali said something and then suddenly 2-3 weeks we're not talking to one another. We're just going to the dance set up. We don't believe in it.
Nah, because I knew his dad. Yeah. God rest his soul. He knows my mum. So
like,
you know.
For example, we still regard Jeff as our manager.
Yeah.
We know his mum. We know his dad. When we have family functions,
we're all together. Yeah. We're all together.
This man carried a coffin for my dad.
Yeah, we're all together. We're all together. You know what I mean?
If you listen to Joe Public, a lot of people go, don't tell Ali what to play. How can I tell a man what to play? We're both on the spot idealists. So I'll have an idea, like for example, Stamp. And he said, yeah, I'm gonna play this record. I said, oh, why? I said, yeah. I didn't even know the record. Listen to it 2 times, we'll make up a dance for it. Stamp.
And then Goody run with that.
we ain't getting no royalties from the
So you're saying that Stamp started off from you just...
Yeah, Goody would tell you that. Goody would tell you that.
We was in a warehouse over East London.
So why haven't you got, like, obviously ownership towards Stamp?
Nah, but you know what? It's like anything. Okay, I created a dance. Goody had the vision to turn the dance into a product.
Right.
So why should I then stop and say I want to make a
But
product?
a lot of men would be jealous over that.
Nah.
They would say, "What?" Do you see? A lot of people, what they do, which I know you're going to agree, is they'll leave it, and then once it gets massive, then they want some royalties.
They'll want a piece of it.
That's
Nah.
where you can get into greed. That's greed and jealousy. If that was the case, from the minute that he put the flyer together, I should have said to him, "Here, well, I made that dance, innit?
Yeah.
So let's do it together."
But
these
Doddy, you're very hot-headed as well, aren't you?
Can be sometimes.
Yeah. Do you think sometimes that really sort of has affected you along the way? Has it got you into some troubles?
Yeah, it's got me some problems, but you know what? When you got a calm soul, don't get me
So
wrong.
is it that only Ali can talk to you before you?
No.
Talk to me. Sometimes when I get off, I do get a bit ignorant, but I'm not being funny. When you got a person who's a total different character from you, and they talk wisdom to you in front of you.
No, sometimes I can see things happening before it happens. Do you understand? Yeah.
Blocks it.
Like,
So I
for
say,
example,
boy.
we played at, Cocktail Fridays, and this girl was doing something, and Ali could read the whole
Yeah, I can see it from before.
before it starts.
I said, "Dod, you know what I mean?
Don't
Just
bother with that.
don't bother," because I can see,
Where it's gonna go.
you know, the girl had a couple of drinks and, you know, I can, she was antagonizing him. You understand? And you know,
You can read it. So
I said to him, "Nah, leave it." You know what I mean?
you can see where it's gonna go.
Yeah.
But you see, this is what I'm saying. That is the yin and the yang.
Yeah.
And with, tell the truth, I got to thank Jeff and Ali for where I am now. Because if it wasn't for Student Express with Diversion, I think I would have been in jail. Or
Really? That bad?
I would have been living a total different life. Because my lifestyle was crazy. It was getting pinnacle life like that.
Well, I will say one thing to you, Doddy. When I actually see you perform, as I say, I've known you for many, many years. But when I see you perform, I think you're on something.
Everybody thinks that.
I say, is he a Coca-Cola or what? Is he speeding it right now or something?
tell you what
like
it is,
that?
right?
Come on, Dodds.
Good.
Is it an act?
I've had this rumor, and you're not the only person. Does he take coke? Does he take some kind of amphetamine? Does he take drugs? It's just natural.
Natural.
And once he finishes working, I'm in the corner standing up.
So you're just putting on a good show, really.
You know what? It's an alter ego.
Right.
As far as I'm concerned, it could be 10.
Have you got ego?
Yeah, everybody's got ego.
Okay. Ali, you got ego?
I think everybody's got ego in some way.
So within the DJ world, has everybody got ego then, yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
You have to, I suppose you have to have a bit,
You have
innit?
to have a bit of ego to get.
Right.
If you want to
You
shine
know.
bright, you gotta have an ego.
Right.
Because you could be dull as some chips. People ain't interested. But they want to see some energy, they want to see some controversy, they want to see someone who makes them go, yeah, what's happening here? And we've had our fair shit.
Yeah.
Not no fault of my own. Not
A lot of
fault of others.
stick?
I had a lot of stick, but it's always like anything. You just brush it off, innit? What can you do?
Right.
No, if you've got 10 people in the room, 7 might love you, 3's gonna hate you,
Right.
and 2 won't tell you they hate you.
Right.
So you just got to go on and get on. And you can't listen to criticism. Constructive criticism.
You're not gonna please everybody all the time.
Yeah.
That's impossible.
It's impossible.
You know what I mean? You're gonna have your fans. You're gonna have, you know, some people that like I said, some people that like you. That some people that actually Dodd has actually calmed down from
From somebody saying something wrong, it goes off, does it?
Yeah. Calm down, hold it. But that's not even
But
something.
that goes with maturity and age, innit?
Yeah.
You know, you can't be
you got-
feisty all
you got
your
to
life,
keep it
innit?
I've had a couple of scraps with dancers, but then I got to think about who am I going to dance with? DJ Ali. Supposing these people come back and they can't find me, what are they going to do?
They can come for it.
They're going to go for Ali.
Well, they might go for anybody.
Anybody.
Yeah.
I can't have that. So I had to separate road
From
raves.
business.
And it worked.
So are you saying at the moment, it's like there's been times when you've wanted just to take a man out there and then, but you've said I've changed now. I'm not on that.
I don't think in our scene, I don't think there's no one like that anymore. The days of the characters are gone.
Yeah, I think the major characters
Gone.
have gone.
If it was like before,
Definitely the major characters. have
we had,
gone.
we had characters.
No, we've seen some things.
Oh God, we could tell you some stories that you can stand up on your head. we've even had altercation with Tony Nicks,
Wow.
and me and Jeff went to see him in a toilet.
Wow.
I'll give you this episode. When we walked into the toilet, a geezer we know very well was going to the toilet, and I'm not lying. I thought he retracted his urine because he just saw Tony Nicks coming here going on, and me and Jeff behind him.
Right.
So I said to Jeff, "Well, boy, this is what it is." And then Tonics was going on, and then he put his hand around both of us. He said, "That's why I like you guys. Stand your ground." And it's like that. The same night, him and Jazzy J had a big bust up.
Wow.
So we could tell his stories.
Yeah, there's been Oedipus stories.
And there's stories that some of the DJs now have never even experienced, never even lived through.
Do you feel to yourself that a lot of the DJs, and you did say it partly earlier, they haven't, I've got to say it because this is the good, bad and ugly, that they haven't deserved where they are today?
What DJs are you talking about? Are you talking about generally? In general?
I'm talking about certain DJs that, as I say, you know, we can go back home and prove that we had.
Yeah, but I think every DJ has got their own journey. Right. They might think what they're going through now is bad, but compared it to what we went through, it's nothing. So I think every DJ has their journey. So I wouldn't say you could say that they had it easy or they haven't it easy, because like I said, everybody's had their journey, but it is a lot easier now.
Bro, it's a holy.
It is a lot easier now. Well, I'm only comparing it to how when we started.
Final.
Yeah.
And remember, the MC thing's different now.
Yeah.
It's more of a hosting thing.
It's not before it was more predominantly lyrics. Remember, you're in a house dance from maybe say 2 to 12.
Yeah.
You got to be tearing down that place for so long. So it was about lyrics, character, personality, flamboyance. All that came into the mix. Now it's more about hosting.
Well, you guys are obviously your fathers as well, and that. Let's go there.
Got to smile with it.
Your father. You're proud father.
I'm a grandfather, mate.
Your children, are they into the music business at all?
My daughter, no, she's into fashion.
Okay.
That is anything.
so music don't interest.
Music don't interest her.
Is that because she's seen your journey, or?
I tell you what, I've kept my DJ thing sheltered for my daughter for a long time. It's only the last 2 years.
How old is she, may I ask?
She's 16 now.
Okay.
So it's only the last 2 years that she's really seen like these podcasts, and mum might have showed her 1 or 2 clips of us live. But before that, I kept everything sheltered.
Right.
So Studio Express didn't come into our world till she was 14, 15.
Wow.
And
And that's because obviously that's your privacy, isn't
No,
it?
it's not even that. I didn't want her to get into that realm that she thinks her dad's something that he's not.
Right.
And then she's going to go to school with a chip on her shoulder, because a lot of her friends, remember, their mums go to our race.
Yes.
So I didn't want to get into that kind of realm where they're discussing, oh, I saw your dad, and it's none of that.
Does she see you as famous though?
I don't know, I've asked her.
You need to ask her.
What she keeps saying is, do you know all these people?
So does she come to your parties, your birthday and that? You wouldn't even let her?
Nah.
Really?
She could have come to the birthday party the other day in the park.
Okay.
But I'm not getting into this. My daughter's in the same age, so she's the appropriate age. 16 is not appropriate for me.
Right. How about you, Ali?
I've got 2 daughters.
Wow.
Yeah, so they're
Ages?
my eldest is 26,
Okay.
and my youngest 21 this year.
And you've got grandchildren as well.
Yeah, and I've got a grandson.
Right.
So my kids have seen quite a lot, because they're of their age. Yeah.
They're just going
But
social media now,
but
isn't it, really?
at the same time, you know, they don't really come to my events unless it's my birthdays, anniversaries, stuff like that. You know what I mean? You know, because they got their own social lives, innit?
Do they see you as famous?
Nah, I don't think they see us. They get annoyed when I go out with them, because I'm, every minute
Always say hello.
you're saying hello, hello. Do you know what I mean? Like, you must know somebody. I've been abroad and and seen people. Do you know what I mean? Like, so, I wouldn't say they see me as famous. You know what I mean? Nah.
Talking about promoting, there's one big event. Obviously, you've done Lollipop. You've done that for a number of years. Brought Mystery in and that. Was that right? Mystery came in on that as well.
No, Mystery brought us in, actually.
Oh, I brought you in, and that was done at a Courts. It was very, very successful.
Yeah, definitely.
And then you've decided now, talking about rivals, there's a situation, Ali, now that you're with Raymond for Fifth Avenue.
Yeah.
Actually, you've got your own event, which is very successful, packs out all the time. Unfortunately, because of COVID and that, which we'll get into the COVID in a moment, is doing very, very well, called Coco White. Tell us how that came about.
Well, that collectively was Studio Express and Fifth Avenue come together. It was the birthday parties for myself and Sweet Vibe.
And Sweet Vibe.
So basically, we used to. I used to keep my birthday party originally at the end of May, I'm actually end of May birthday.
Right.
Fox used to keep his birthday the week after.
R.I.P. my good friend.
Yeah. And Sweet Vibes used to keep his birthday the week after that.
Wow.
So you're talking about 3.
It would have been a big clash.
Right. So we eventually said, right, let's just amalgamate 2 together. And I think the first time we had a joint birthday party was Regatta Centre in the Docklands. So we said, oh, let's just try it, have the birthday party together, and it was a major success. Yeah, it was a very good night.
Very successful.
Yeah, very good night. And then from then we just said, you know what, let's continue to do birthdays. And then about 5 years ago, we decided to do a boat party, and we themed it as an all white
That
event.
was on the Dixie Queen, right?
No, actually, the one, the
did
first,
one on there, didn't
yeah, no, we done two on the Dixie Queen. Yeah, and
Besides boats.
yeah.
Okay.
So the first 2 that we did was on a smaller boat, so just to kind of test the waters
Yeah.
on the boat. And that was a major. So tickets sold out in days, you know. So we said, yeah, okay, we'll run it together at Cocoa White.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we done the Dixie Queen twice. And the Dixie Queen, anybody's been in the Dixie Queen knows that's the biggest boat on the Thames. So we done the 2 Dixie Queens back to back, and both of them sold out.
The bad criticism. I think it broad
I
shoulders.
think the bad is him calling you Doddy all the time.
Do
Yeah.
you know what?
This guy's been calling me Tony from day one.
Yeah, he said it. Let me call him Doofy.
So something I can't swallow. But bad. As I said, a lot of haters out here, and they're not hating for the right reason. They're just hating because they believe that you're someone that you're not. We've done the journey for 25 years. We're always seeing the rewards now.
Right.
So
Because you've received awards as well.
they receive awards. We've done a lot of things, but the bad of it, I think, our scene at the moment, it needs to kind of support it a bit more because it's.
How would they do that?
I just think punters alone. I think they've got too much of a negative attitude towards the DJ because they always think they're all about money. And then it doesn't help when your other promoters, other DJs, all the man think about is money. And it's not like that. If they were thinking about money, I'll be putting a rave every single month.
So do you feel the lady that done the 125 tracks there was in the wrong to put the criticism about when she goes to a rave, you know, the same tunes are played all the time?
You know what? I always say this, you know, people are definitely, if you want to voice your opinion, voice your opinion. If you voice your opinion and it gets momentum and people jump on it, that means it's something the DJ needs to look at.
Right.
But when you say 101 records, that's a lot of records.
So a lot of records for that whole night.
That's a lot of records. So everybody's got their own opinion. And you got to look at it this way. Some people might come out to hear an exclusive set of music and they're not hearing it.
Right.
Then you got to look at where you're going.
Right.
If you want to hear a different genre of music, then you got to find DJs that play that.
Right.
Because it's a big open market. For example, say if I want to let my hair down, believe it or not, I'm going funky house. Because that's my thing. Head down, I want it. But I'm not going to go into a funky house scene and say, oh, I've heard this record 10 million times. Because I chose to go there. And that's what I've been served with. So if someone says you've got 110 tunes that you play all the time, change it up. Yeah, you're entitled to your opinion, but then you're asking the whole DJ to change their selection. Which, yes, it needs a refresh, admittedly, but 110 tunes, a lot of records.
I think some of the bad we'd have to look at is the social media aspect of some of these dances. And when I say, I'm talking about people taking pictures and stuff like that, and that sometimes it gets it's too much sometimes. You know, like you can't go out without somebody taking a picture and
You're talking about filming the rave,
yeah,
the events,
right? Yeah, and just the general public, because once you're doing that, it's taking away the aspect of it. You're not actually raving, are you?
Right.
It's more like a social event.
Right.
And back in the day, the vibes in the raves were a lot better. Like consistently better because people were just coming out to basically have a good time. So that's one of the bad things as well. And maybe the point at some of the music you can't really play as much diverse music as you used to be able to. Yeah, for whatever reason it is, I can't put my finger on it, but I think back in the day, you used to be able to kind of, take more of a gamble with tunes, and people would kind of still rave to them. I think now you have to sort of like pick and choose where you can do that, right. Whereas before you could just probably do it.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So that's probably one of the bad things about it. But generally, I think overall, it's a lot safer to go out now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Back in the day, it was a bit.
And now we go on to the final out of the three, which is of course the ugly. There's got to be an ugly. Would you say that that's with the bad, or would you say there is an ugly part as well?
I think the bad and the ugly is the same thing.
Yeah, I think they're kind of going to the same basket. Back then, I think there's not much difference between the two.
The ugly side of it is DJs are two-faced.
Right.
Will look in your face and say, yeah, what's happening? And then behind your back say, he don't book me, I don't like him.
Yeah.
You know what? I just take all of them. The venue's there, no different from what we done. You can hire the venue, hire security, hire sound. Why don't you do it? Then you can book who you like. Why are you waiting for us to book you when you can do the same thing with it and get all the money for yourself?
Yeah.
So it's out there for everybody to do.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you feel about DJs? I think, especially you, Ali, competing with the way you play. Would you say?
What do you mean competing?
Well, obviously, you get in the crowd all hype and that another DJ comes on and all that. Is it united like that? Do you sort of have a good time?
Nah, I think that's probably one of the bad things as well. Right. I don't think there's enough unity when it comes to DJ playing sets. Now you'd have certain DJs that will play certain tunes at a particular time when they know that's not the right time to play the tune. Yeah, but because it's a big tune, it's it's a popular. Yeah, or not even that, just to get that hype of the crowd at that time, or just to hear that tune. They know that tune's going to get forward. Yeah, but it's not the right time because you can play that tune later on at the same rave. Yeah, and get a bigger forward.
And that is hence why the repeating of records.
Right.
You will get a bigger forward, right? But because of egos and wanting to play the tune at that particular time, you'll do that just to get yourself a good name, but you're not thinking about the whole crowd and the whole night.
Right.
You're putting yourself before, the actual crowd itself.
Right.
You understand?
And going back to you, Dodd, obviously you must get the same problem as well, being an MC. Is there any times that sort of like you're on the mic, you're hyping the crowd, and because there's different types of MCs that are up there smashing it, and other than like Doddy comes on, kills it even better and stuff. Jealousy's got to be in that part as well, isn't it?
I can't say it's jealousy. I think every DJ looks to perform, every MC looks to perform at his best. I've just got this narrative that whether it's 10 people, 1,000 people, I've got to give you my full 100. Now, I'm animated. So, whereby some DJ might stand in one spot, if you give me a platform, I can move about.
Use the whole stage. I'm
gonna make sure that whole crowd, no matter what corner you're in, you're feeling some of my energy. So, for example, Ali might play a record like the Rihanna. Damn it.
What?
Rihanna's got a tune with
it's an old tune.
What work?
No. We found love.
Oh yeah.
When Ali first played that,
you went mad.
That for me, that was the best tune in the world. Now, I said to him, stop the record, because I've got a plan now. I know there's a part where it goes do. Yeah. That's me. All I need to do is jump.
Yeah.
So what I've done, I pre-prepare the people. Jump, jump.
Yeah.
Doom. The record does the rest.
Yeah.
They just need something to follow.
But even talking about that, I've noticed you guys as well. There's sometimes you play off-key tunes, Ali, just to do something different.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time, it actually works.
It does work.
Why did you decide to take that risk?
You know,
That is a big risk.
Well, you can take that risk sometimes because you got an MC that will, you know,
Well,
back your risk.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And sometimes, you know, you just got to play something different in it. You know what I mean? Like, you know,
Like this, as long as Ali inform me what he's doing, we can create a style around it.
Right.
So some of the records he plays on, I think, wow, what is this game up?
He's testing you out.
But I got to back my selector. A lot of DJs stand up and think, nah, that's not for me. Yeah, you just got to make the crowd appreciate what you're doing. You also got to make them interact with you. And most important, those crowds are what made us.
How come you guys have decided to do your own radio, do your own nightclub? What's stopped you? Because that's the love you're in.
We've looked at all avenues of that.
Why didn't you do it?
well, no, actually, we never really. I think the podcast is one step, and then whatever leads on from that, leads on from that.
Because you do your own podcast as well.
Right, we do our own podcast. Yeah.
To say open a nightclub, something that you got to really have full-time commitment for.
Yeah, because we've seen a lot of nightclubs come and go.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? And that is owning a nightclub is
a total different
ballgame. Yeah. I take my hat off to anybody who owns a club. Definitely. Yeah.
Don't forget,
it's a lot of work.
A lot of people think, oh, you got a name Studio Express, but then you got to be packing this place like 6 nights a week.
Yeah.
And if you miss 2, 3, you could be in problems.
Because just owning the just owning a nightclub and relying on Friday and Saturday, it's not going to cut the mustard, is it? So you need to know what you're doing, like financially, before you step into that kind of game, because that's a big game.
You also, Dodd, got into the media side of it. Obviously, you had your own printing company, which you were a partner with,
alongside J2.
With J2, and then all of a sudden, you know, every time I used to really speak to you on that level, but then all of a sudden you pulled out. Why did you pull out?
I went into properties.
Okay.
And the two wasn't gelling at the same time, because it's J2. I've got his back 100%, but he was the brainchild. Right. I was the one who came in and turned it into a business and got work in. Yeah. But like anything, if I see an opportunity on the left, I'm going to move to it.
Right.
So I moved to the left. I got into properties, and that's once I got into property, the time I was like furnishing them. He's renting my place is fully furnished, so the time I was taking out to do all that, the strain that was putting on Jay, it caused a rift, because it's like he's in the office doing all the work, I'm out on the road doing my own thing. But to Joe Public, thinking, hold on a minute, you're doing all the work and this guy's driving around in X5s and Mercs and what's going on. So I took a conscious decision. Let me take a Jay, it's yours.
What, you just give it to him just like that?
Jay, that's yours. Whatever we had to work out, we worked out. And I went off and done my own journey. Wow,
you definitely did that as well. I need to ask you guys, there's a thing called the good, bad and the not the good, bad and the ugly. I'm talking about the DJ side now. Your favourites. So I'm going to start off with your top 5 sounds. Your top 5 sounds. We'll start out with you, Don.
My top 5 is kind of strange still, you know, because I'd have to put Super D in that. That's one of my top 5
sounds.
Yeah, Super D, definitely.
You say sounds?
Oh, sound system.
Yeah.
That sounds like MCs.
Yeah. You know,
okay, we'll go MCs with you. We'll go MCs.
Yeah, Super D. Oh, Super D. I'd say Andrew Fresh Kid. Definitely love how he plays. Special Touch, Fifth Avenue, and I'd have to put ELC in that as a sound that I've looked at and said, yeah, that sound definitely can go with this.
Okay, Ali?
Is it UK, worldwide?
No, it's got to be UK.
UK, okay. Yeah. Okay, Street Sounds UK. Past, present?
We'll say now.
Okay, now I would say Street Sound. Now probably as a younger element, coming up through the game, and I've seen their journey from day dot from where they are now. I would say Invasion Crew. Yeah, because I've seen their journey from back in the day to now, and they've done a good journey.
Good sound.
Obviously, Sounds that I work with consistently are Fifth Avenue and Special Touch.
Okay.
That leaves.
You got one more.
But one more. Oh, I have to do this justice, disservice to somebody. But I would say as a sound that kind of got me recognised, or not recognised, that I used to follow and they're still here today, would be Touch of Class. But obviously Touch of Class are not here as a sound where they still are here. But obviously there was a couple of members that are in that sound who are still relevant, and SUG is definitely one.
Right. I want to ask you, Doddy, what do you want to do before you hang your gloves up?
Leave a legacy. I think we're halfway there.
Right.
Courts Wine Bar's definitely a legacy. Got a mental company dealing with kids between 6 and 19. That's left a legacy. So really and truly, I just want to leave a legacy where people can look back and say, you know what? He wasn't just a DJ. Studio Express wasn't just there playing music. They'd done things.
Okay. Ali?
What would I see? What would
you like to do?
What would I like to do? I think what I like to do is something that we've kind of more or less done already. Like Dodd said, we've kind of left our imprint in people's brains. Even up to the other day, a friend of mine, he celebrated his 7th wedding anniversary, and we played at his wedding, and that's an impression that would always last. Right. We've played at christenings, we've played at anniversaries, we've played at weddings, and so many other things. Yeah. So the name is going to be embedded in people's in their heads from now till, you know, we've got people's kids that we played at their christening, so they know Studio Express. You know what I'm saying? That we've played at people's funerals, they know Studio Express. So that's something that's always going to be there.
Would you think, have you ever thought, both of you thought of hanging up earlier, deciding not doing this no more?
Yeah, no, definitely. We got looking at some younger infants.
Yeah, we was actually talking about that the other day, because we kind of identified a DJ the other day, and without even speaking about it, we both said, yeah, this guy can
take out the mantle.
He can definitely, you know, do something with us, you know.
But you guys will still be in the reins, mentoring him and not perform.
Yeah.
Still be performing.
No, we'll be performing, but
special.
Yeah.
Right. We're doing like a Roddy.
Introduce him gently, basically.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But eventually, we'll just be putting him in the raise, and he'll be taking care of everything.
There's got to be a message that you guys have got for DJs, someone who wants to be a DJ, somebody who's having a hard time out there trying to get on the mantelpiece. What advice would you give them? I'll go with you first, Doddy.
Be yourself, and you need to do something. You need to do something to make yourself stand out and be different from the rest. That's the main thing.
Right. Okay, Ali?
Yeah, I would say, you know, be humble in your journey, most definitely, and, you know, just try and persevere in what you do, and you got to love what you do, you know, because at the end of the day, if you're going to do something properly, you're going to have to love it.
Right.
So if you're in it for the money, for the women, for the, you know, it's not really going to work.
Right.
You have to kind of love it.
And the last thing, I do need to ask you as well, have you guys ever suffered from depression, anxiety? No?
Yeah, they're low days.
Yeah, everybody has their low days, doesn't it?
I think my lowest is when my dad passed away, and to know that I had to still play music.
You were very close to your father, right?
And put that show.
Yeah.
It was kind of difficult still. It wasn't hard. It was difficult because your mindset ain't really there.
Right.
For what you're really meant to do. But you know what? As Ali would say, the show has to go on.
Right. How about you, Ali?
Well, I think everybody's had low points in their life at some point. But at the same time, you know, there's always, I am a mindset, there's always going to be somebody in a worse position than yourself.
Right.
So, you know, when you think you've had a bad day, speak to a person who's probably, you know what I mean, who's just lost their job or lost their mum or you know, and
you got to count your blessings.
And you know, what you class as a bad day is a relatively good day. You know, so you know you have to just, you know, dust off your shoulders and keep carrying on, innit?
Well, I hope you do carry on, and I thank you so much for this interview. And on behalf of SD Media and the Industry Street, we'd like to present you both with a little toast.
Oh, thank you very much, sir.
Dodd and Ali from Studio Express 625. This is all about your life. Your legacy will go.
I was expecting a red book, but this is good. Yeah.
On behalf of
SD Media
and
the Industry Street. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This has been Dodd and Ali of Call's Studio Express 625. Big sound. Catch Peter Terry next week with another big name.
Thank you very much, sir.
Ace!